it's me, Crunch, and I will be teaching you how to make a plush video with the help of my best friend Sal. In this tutorial, we will guide you through the crucial steps of creating your one-of-a-kind plush video. Also, links for any software, websites, or YouTube channels will be in the description. So, without further ado, let's go through the 5 phases: planning, filming, editing, thumbnails, and branding. Let's start with the first phase. This step is very important. Planning out your videos will make filming a lot easier. You can't improvise, but there's no reason why you shouldn't plan out your videos. If you have a plan, the plot will turn out better and your video will seem more professional. So how exactly do we plan our videos? That's a great question. We write scripts to plan our videos. Yup, that's right. We use Google Docs to write our scripts. But you can use any alternatives like Microsoft Word or an actual notebook. So where do we start when writing scripts? Well, first, we decide which characters we want to use. Maybe you want to make a Mario plush video, or maybe a Sonic plush video. Actually, Sal, using Mario or Sonic might not be the best idea. Why is that? Mario and Sonic are already used as main characters a lot on other plush channels, so using them as main characters in your own videos will make your content less original. There are so many better options. For example, you can use a Minecraft creeper with a beanie as your main character. There are so many better choices than Mario and Sonic. However, if you do use Mario or Sonic, we'd recommend making them side characters. It allows you to use the characters while also being original at the same time. The plot will still revolve around your main character though. Once you know which characters you want to use, decide which personality you want to give your characters. Maybe your hero is courageous and strong. Or maybe they're fearful and weak. Hey! If your character has no personality traits, then they will not be memorable. Have a cast of characters with diverse personalities. Maybe one character is a stupid jerk, while another character is kind and compassionate. When you know what personalities you want to give to your characters, then it's time to start writing the script. There isn't a right or wrong way to write a script. Just make sure that you're writing one. We will give helpful advice though, and what better way to start than with character roles? There are many different archetypes to choose from. The most important role is the protagonist, which is your main character. Make them likable. This is a character that will be the center of the story. Also, make your protagonist flawed. Nobody likes an overpowered main character who never struggles with anything. You can also make your protagonist an anti-hero. An anti-hero still does heroic deeds, but they don't have the morality of a regular hero. Maybe your anti-hero does something heroic only because there's something in it for them. Regardless, your protagonist needs to develop in the story or else they won't be interesting. The second most important role is the antagonist, which is the villain. Make your villain intimidating and powerful. The villain should show off their strength to scare the good guys. While this character is evil, give them a motivation. They need a reason for what they do. The antagonist thinks that what they're doing is right, even if it's at the cost of everything else. A role that isn't as important is the sidekick. This character is a friend of the protagonist, always being by their side. This character still develops in the story, but they aren't the focus of it. And the final role that we will cover in this video is the mentor. This one is optional, but it's a great one to use. This character is usually older and wiser. This character gives the protagonist helpful advice and guides them through their journey. And now it's time for the plot of your story. A good thing to use when writing plots is the plot pyramid. The plot pyramid is a model of a story. This is a great thing to consider if you're not very experienced with writing. And if you are, it still helps. Let's quickly go over the different parts of the plot pyramid. The first part is the exposition. In this part, the setting and the characters are introduced to the audience. After that comes the rising action. During the rising action, the main event of the story really begins. There's conflict. You can't have a good story without conflict. In the middle of the pyramid is the climax. The climax is the turning point of the story. Maybe this turning point could be a plot twist or a big reveal. The part after the climax is the falling action. This is made up of the events that come after the climax, and these events lead to the end of the story. The final part is the resolution. This part is where the story ends and the conflict is resolved. This entire story arc can happen in one video, or it can be broken up into multiple episodes. It's your choice. If you want to learn more about the plot pyramid, then click the link in the description. Alright, now that we're done planning, it's time to film. If you want to film, you will need something very important. A camera. An actual camera would be best, but if you don't have one, you could use a phone. Another thing that we highly recommend is a tripod. It is a stand that you can put your camera on, which will allow you to use both of your hands while filming. Now that you have everything you need for filming, it's time to actually film. When filming, choose a well-lit room. It's best to film during the day because of the natural sunlight. If the room is darker, then you could use lamps for better lighting. Once your camera is on, make sure it focuses on your character so you can have better looking shots. One thing that you should think about when filming is composition. One rule to follow is the rule of thirds. Picture a 3x3 grid. You want to put your character on 2 points where the lines intersect. Some other techniques that you can use are camera height and depth. If you angle your camera up at a character, it makes them look more intimidating and strong. Whereas if you angle it down at a character, it makes them look smaller and weaker. Another technique for making your shots look cooler is depth. This can be achieved by positioning your subject farther away from the background. Also, if you are filming with the phone, do not film vertically. Film horizontally. Now for filming. Make sure that the camera is focused and then hit the record button. Make sure that your camera is still. When you're filming, have your script near you to read off of if you have a hard time memorizing lines. Also, make sure to put as much personality into your characters as possible when acting. If you want to switch to another character, then use jump cuts. Jump cuts are when you stop recording one character and you record another. If you mess up during a shot, stop recording and redo it. Sure, one mistake might not be the worst thing ever, but multiple bad shots will ruin your video. We've covered the basics of filming. I think that it's time to start editing. Similar to script writing, there isn't a right or wrong way to edit, but we will help guide you through the basics. If you want the best quality videos, you'll have to edit on a computer. If you don't have a computer at all, then there are apps on mobile devices that you can edit on, but they aren't as good. We will be assuming that you're using a computer. So the software that we use is called Shotcut. It's free and it's available on both Windows and Mac. I would even recommend this over iMovie, which is a popular app used for Mac computers. This is simply a recommendation though. You can use any software that you like. One thing you should not do is use software that has watermarks. Watermarks are very distracting and they can turn viewers away from your content. So once you add your software, you want to transfer your clips from your camera to your computer. You need a cord that can connect to a USB port on your computer. If your camera has an SD card, then you could use that instead. Once you plug it in, you want to find your camera and your files. I'm using Windows, but if you're using Mac, then it will be in your Finder. After you found the clips, make sure to select them and copy them. Once you have copied them, you want to make a folder elsewhere on your computer. Then, paste your clips into the folder. After all of the clips are pasted, you can unplug the cord. These steps will be the same if you're using an SD card. So now, it's time to edit. This part will be short because if we explained every aspect of editing, the video would be too long. Also, mastering editing is something that one has to learn on their own from lots of experience. In your app of choice, you want to create a new project and import all your clips. Once all your clips are imported, drag an individual clip into the timeline. There are many things you can do with just one clip. You can trim it to make it shorter, and you can add filters. There are two types of filters, video filters and audio filters. The video filters modify the look of the video, while the audio filters modify the audio. One very important video filter is saturation. Saturation can make your video look more vibrant and more colorful. One thing that you should add to your videos is music. If you want to get music, I would recommend visiting the YouTube audio library, where there's tons of royalty-free music. I would not recommend using copyrighted music, because the last thing you want to happen is getting in trouble for copyright infringement. So, use royalty-free music to stay safe. Now, to add the music to your video, you want to select the music from your files and drag it into the timeline. Then, decrease the volume of the music so you can hear the voices. If you're using Shotcut, then you can achieve that by using the gain volume audio filter and sliding the bar to the left. Once you're happy with how your video is turned out, you want to export it. When exporting, export it as an MP4 file, since that is a file type that YouTube accepts. Now that your video is done, you need a thumbnail for it. Thumbnails are very important. Without a thumbnail, the audience will not be attracted to your video. However, if you make a poor thumbnail, then you will also not attract viewers. So, how do we make thumbnails? We use Pixlr Editor, which is a website. So, let's get started. When you go to create a new image, select 1280 by 720, since that is the size that a thumbnail has to be. The first step is to open the picture of your character. This will place them on the canvas. In our demonstration, we already have a picture. What you will want to do is use a magic eraser to cut out one color and the lasso to cut out certain areas. This task can be very time consuming. Now that you've cut out everything around your character, it's time to add the background. The easiest way to do this would be to use the gradient tool. Now that you have your background, we now add the title. Make sure that you give the text an outline because without it, it looks bad. Also, make sure to use an interesting font. Arial and Verdana are both boring fonts. Another cool thing you can do with the text is add a drop shadow. This will make your title look more appealing. After you have all of that, add an outline to your character. Do this by going to the Edit tab and clicking Stroke. This will add the outline. There we go. Now all you need to do is save the image. Make sure to save it as a JPEG. Now that you're finished making the thumbnail, it's time to start branding your YouTube channel. This part is not something that you should overlook. It's important for you to set yourself up as a serious content creator. Pick a good name for people to call you. Make it simple. Make it creative and memorable. Seriously guys, you can come up with better names than ones that either start with Super Mario or end with Mario Bros. Also, avoid having numbers in your name. It's just unnecessary and it makes your name harder to say. You also need channel art in a profile picture. Make both of these look appealing. If someone visits your channel and you have bad channel art, it'll turn potential subscribers away. Same with the profile picture. Making one isn't that hard. Don't download a picture off of the internet and set it as your profile picture. You also need to organize your channel. Make a channel trailer so your audience knows what to expect from you. And make playlists so your audience can binge watch your series. All in all, be unique. Stand out. Don't just make mediocre Mario Plush videos. Push yourself to make Plush videos that'll blow people away. But don't let that turn you into a perfectionist. Practice with writing, practice with composition, and practice with editing, and you will get better. Watch other Plush channels to see what works and what doesn't work. Offer content to your audience that they can't get from other channels. But most important of all, have fun. Now go out there and make amazing Plush videos.